Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All right, just before we get to the Moj, highlights. Yesterday, Winnipeg. First quarter, Zach Collaros to Dalton Schoen making his way to the end zone. 6-0, blue and gold, like a modern-day Joe Poplawski. Then, Lions punt mishandled by Janarian Grant. Loose ball. Picked up by Matthew Betts. Lions first and goal. And from there, Antonio Pipkin in for Nathan Rourke on short yardage, dancing home. 7-6 Lions with a score of 9-7 Bombers in that second quarter. Janarian Grant making amends for his earlier gaffe, reminding Bomber fans of a young Mini Mac Heron. Janarian Grant, a Lion killer all season, 92 yards to pay dirt. They love it in Winnipeg. Now, with the score 25-11 for the home team, after a Bombers touchdown, this was a key play, according to Ryan Henderson. Mark Leggio misses the convert. Terry Williams is there to gobble it up for the Lions. He gets to the house. Lions get 2 points. 25-13, so some life for the visitors from the west coast of Canada. Fourth quarter now, 28-13 Bombers. Nathan Rourke never giving in. The dart to Alex Hollins, but that's as close as they'd come. Bombers with a limping Zach Collaros advance to the Grey Cup 28-20, the final. All of our guests today, including Bob Marjanovich, are sponsored by Basant Motors. It's no tax November at Basant Motors this month. Let Basant pay the GST with the purchase of your next new-to-you vehicle. Learn more at basantmotors.com. You got Moj? Yep. Okay. Time for the voice of the BC Lions joining us. We've been waiting for a year and a half, begging him to come on the show.
Yep.
Finally, he agreed to join us. Moj, how are you, sir?
What happened? Farhan and Julio unavailable today or what?
Yes, as a matter of fact. And JP McConnell as well.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. A little tired after spending a cold, frigid weekend in Winnipeg, and obviously a tough loss for the Lions. But, when you look at the big picture, I think things look really bright.
Where are you? That backdrop is outstanding. You're in the Lions headquarters? Where are you?
No, this is just, I'm at home. It's called technology, Taylor. Something that you know absolutely nothing about. Neither does Dollywall.
Yeah. Okay. We're delivering shots, are we? What do you think the X factor was for the Bombers in this game?
Very well played.
There you go.
Well
That's an inside joke, but you got it.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you, Ross Tucker.
Yeah. Was this a matter? We talked about this in the first segment, Moj. Was this a matter of the Bombers being a better football team than the Lions?
Yeah, you're talking about two-time defending Grey Cup champions who know how to win tough games. And I think home field was definitely advantage for the Bombers, not only in terms of the weather, but the fans, of course. You saw that sequence late in the game where I think there was like 27 seconds on the clock, and the Lions just couldn't get on the same page. Nathan Rourke was huddling up with the receivers. By the time they threw the ball, I think there was like 7 seconds left in the game, and they were down on one play. So, yeah, the crowd was a factor, and this is a team that knows how to win. And, the Lions are getting there, but they're not there yet.
What happens, Moj, if Nathan Rourke is, and I'm assuming he's not, what happens if he's 100% healthy yesterday?
Well, I think, talking to Nathan after the game, one of the things he talked about was just his mechanics being off. And, maybe the foot injury had something to do with that. He talked about the fact, when Nathan throws, it's so much upper body, but there's also some footwork involved. And, obviously Julia would probably know more about this than I, but, he talked about it, being an issue. And one of the things that when he's off, he kind of overthrows balls. And we saw that a couple times last night where he kind of threw some heavy balls that just flew over receivers. So, if he's healthy, maybe obviously the Lions have a better chance if he's 100%, but you got to go with what you got to go with, and Nathan gutted it out.
Moj, the biggest thing for me was the running game. Winnipeg had one, the Lions did not. And when the Lions can't run in that weather, you're second along all day long, and their second down conversion rate was horrible. It was 17%. But, man, if they had a running game yesterday, Moj, it would have helped.
Yeah, 4 for 19, and you're right. I mean, obviously, it's a lot more easier to stay ahead of schedule when you're in 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 5 situations. But I'll say one thing. I thought the Lions did a great job in terms of blitz pickup. The offensive line yesterday gave Nathan Rourke, on most occasions, plenty of time. I mean, there were times when Winnipeg was sending 5, 6, 7 guys, well, at least 6 or 7. And the offensive line and running back James Butler and Javon Katoy, if he was coming in for protection, they picked everything up. So I thought the offensive line played rather well in terms of the pass pro. Now, obviously, in terms of the running game, I think they could have done a little bit more.
Hey, Moj, you've been with Nathan Rourke a lot, dressing room, practice games, road trips. What's your gut saying? You think he's trying NFL, or you think there's a part of him that wants to come back?
Well, I think there's definitely a part of him that wants to come back. The big thing that you hear with this Lions team is just the sense of family. I talked to one team official yesterday flying home on the charter, and he said of all his years in the CFL, this was the closest locker room he's seen, like the best chemistry. Wow. So they're building something special in terms of the family. I mean, you go out on the road and you go to a restaurant and you look over and it's all the receivers having dinner, or all the offensive linemen having dinner, or the DBs having dinner. This is a very tight group. It's funny because there was a great trailer by Adam Bighill prior to the game talking about family and talking about the Bombers. And the Lions are on their way to doing that. In fact, I think they're probably already there. I think they're just missing a couple of pieces. And, you talk about the run yesterday, that when the running game of the Bombers, just think if Stove Richardson had been healthy, the free agent signing that they got in Winnipeg in the offseason that, tore his Achilles, tried to come back and re-aggravated his injury. I mean, if he had been in the game yesterday, I think that would have made a big difference as well. But it is what it is.
We talk about Nathan Rourke going down south. Moj, I think a lot of people were blown away yesterday, Lions fans, by Brady Oliveira, number 20 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. As this kid got a chance to go down south, they couldn't stop him yesterday.
I think, he's probably going to have to. And even with Nathan, I think Nathan will be back, to answer your previous question. And the reason why is because I think he needs a much better body of work. If you look at most of the quarterbacks that have gone down there from the CFL, whether it's the Garcia or Dickinson, they've had 3 or 4 seasons. They've established themselves as Grey Cup champions or All-Stars. And, Nathan has basically half a season to his credit. And I think the other thing, too, that when you look at NFL teams, they're so gung-ho on, a player's height, weight, the specs. And if you look at Nathan, I think probably looking at his size, their concern would be durability. And clearly losing half a season to a foot injury doesn't play into that for NFL teams. So I think he'll be back. I think they'll probably kick the tires. But to go down there and probably turn down maybe, say, $500,000 from the Lions, you're going to need an opportunity, right? It's one thing. I mean, he could probably sign somewhere. Yeah. But is he going to get an opportunity? And that's the big question. Right now, I don't think that opportunity will be there.
Argos versus Bombers. We talked about Zach Collaros' ankle, but Argos versus Bombers, what happens in the Grey Cup?
Man, I just, it's tough to bet against Winnipeg. They just somehow, some way find a way to win. They've got impact players, whether it's a Bighill, whether it's a Jefferson, a Schoen, a Collaros, and Oliveira. They've got the experience. And I think, playing in Regina will probably be a benefit to him, although I think all of Rider Nation will be rooting for the Argos. But even that's tough for them because they're not big Andrew Harris fans there. So I just think Winnipeg right now, I think a three-peat's in the cards.
Okay, Moj, this is the first time we've had you on this show. What's your opinion of the mess the Canucks are in?
Wow, what a tire fire. It's interesting just looking at some of the comments on Twitter. And, they've tried a new